Hey there, welcome back. Somatic wisdom, our ethereal soul. We're talking about both the soul and the body, and what it means to have boundaries right now. What does that mean when we set a boundary? What I've recognized in 60 years, I'll be 60 in a couple of weeks here. There are lots of ways to define boundaries, and there are lots of ways to arrive at a boundary. Boundaries can look very different for different people, different situations. There's a lot of factors when we're talking about boundaries. Context is very important. Through most of my life, I've been pretty terrible about boundaries. I've really did not, as a child, have any understanding of what a boundary was. My life was not my own. My mind was not my own. My feelings were not validated. And so my feelings were not my own. I was told how to feel and what was appropriate. So I negated everything about what my body was telling me. And even as a young adult and into adulthood, had no understanding of what boundaries were. It took me a very long time. And that has been an evolution. It has continually changed and developed, evolved over time when talking about my own understanding of boundaries, my own ability to put a boundary in place for me, to understand that I don't have the ability to create boundaries for other people. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the boundary that you create for yourself. You don't get to create boundaries for other people unless we're talking about infants, okay? And it's like, don't touch that, it's hot. That's different, okay? Eventually we become adults and we have to learn to say and discern for ourselves, that's not a safe environment. I'm not going to touch that, it's hot. Mom taught me that when I was 2, okay? That's what we're talking about here. This is the context of which we are discussing boundaries, okay? And then we're going to get to spirituality later, the spirituality of boundaries and the spiritual bypassing, because I just think that's freaking hilarious, especially from influencers who are out there. It's all spiritual until there's something that comes up and they're like, oh, no, that's not spiritual. I'm not going to look at that. That doesn't have anything to do with my own potential spiritual growth. Okay, kittens, you just get on with your bad self. Gotta love it. Gotta love the wisdom of being in your late 20s and early 30s. A fucking joke. Kittens, I'm telling you right now, what you think you know in your 30s, you don't really know. The shit I think I know at 59, the 80-year-olds are looking at me and going, you don't have a fucking clue. So I'm just telling you, it's an evolution. I look back at my evolution and it's cringe. I think we all have that. If we don't recognize our own cringe, if we can't stand in this place, whatever this place is, in this moment and time, and look back and say, wow, I really didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I really had no idea. I was so full of myself. I was so arrogant, for sure. Standing in my righteousness about something. If I can't look at that and go, oh my God, how embarrassing, then you might have an ego problem. You might have an ego problem because we are spirits in a human body having an opportunity for evolution. So we're going to come back in a few minutes.